What's up, guys? Megaleader here with another episode of Star Technology. I know it's been a minute, it's been a while since we've been in this world. I've got some updates for you, so let's just get into it, right? So, not a lot has changed here at the original base, our original starting platform. Everything's still running. I really haven't torn stuff down. We've got ore processing, we've got our create stuff, just like dropping materials on the floor. Our original ore processing, our diesel setup over here that's not running for whatever reason. We've got more sugar, I guess, to pick up. There's a lot of it there. Not entirely sure what the problem is over here. Looks like we've got shafts that are disconnected. It doesn't matter anyways, because this was an old power setup. If we head back, getting into, the next stage of our base, we had LV machines over here that we started. Our base completely passive, by the way. We can see, what is this even running over here? This is a basic centrifuge, centrifuging Realgar into sulfur and arsenic. That's crazy. That is crazy. We've still got stuff running. What's this doing? Air? That's very funny. Everything all the way to circuits. Coming down here on the next floor. The travel staff seems a little bit wonky sometimes. We've got our kind of MV workshop here. We had some ore processing down here, but I don't think... Oh, looks like we still have a lot of things in these. I don't really know where they're coming from, but it's pretty neat that they're there. Our original blast furnaces for aluminum, signala, monocrystalline silicon boules. Everything is still here. We've got tons of stuff still on passive. What is this even running here? Stainless steel. Still making stainless steel in an EBF. We've got other ore processing set up here, as well as mechanical sifters over here. And these are still kind of running, but I have replace them so they can and will get shut off. We've even got, look, slowly produced distilled water. We expanded the base out into this direction. We've got a skystone being made here. Our clean room, it's pretty nicely organized. Over on this side is when we were getting into HV. We did more blast furnace setup, more passive crafting. I mean, it is all here. Everything that you would need for automation has been automated. We've got more stainless steel running apparently over here. I probably don't need these blast furnaces running, but it's not hurting anything. What's this? Topaz, bastnasite, blue topaz. I think that's running from something over here. I think it... There's a process over here. I don't know which one is using the... Oh, look, I've got some batteries in here. Nice. That's nice. Our clean room. Let's look at our clean room. I've done a lot more work in here. We've got circuits all the way up to LUV. These are complete... Oh, I'm sorry, ZPM even. These are completely passived. So, looks like we're low on something. What do these need? Oh, look at that. It's actually a different recipe. I need to change this. I have since updated the world, and these circuits were done in an old recipe. So this doesn't even work anymore, which kind of leads me to, what we're starting to get work on. Let's just throw that into the system. The world's kind of laggy, as you can see. If we take a look at those guys there, we can see they're stuttering just a little bit, and if we take a look at our TPS, it is not amazing. 39 milliseconds. Not great. Not great. The world does stutter, but it's not too bad. I have stopped the day-night cycle. We will continue that soon. Below this guy here, what I was trying to do most recently, I think in the videos, was get steam power set up, because we were running solar and it was causing a lot of issues. So I do have a steam turbine here that has got a Twinite rotor. If we take a look, Twinite turbine rotor. So this guy is creating quite a bit of power. If we take a look here, 229,000 forge energy per tick. These were running, but I just wasn't creating charcoal fast enough. I am all backed up on charcoal now because I did kind of scavenge parts from these guys, and we'll get back into that. Over here, I know we were still in HV and got into EV, which is pretty neat. You know, we've got titanium and what is this, palladium? No, I don't know what this is, which is actually kind of part of the problem. What do you, sheldonite? What is sheldonite used for? If we go down the processing line, nickel, palladium. I thought it was palladium. I don't know what this is. It was working there and I didn't see what it's doing. And I can't see the cases. I've been fine all day and all of a sudden I start yawning. What's going on? Nitric acid. Platinum group sludge. That's what it is. It's platinum. And we're processing platinum. And that gets used. I guess I can use this as in an ABS. Interesting. Platinum ingots. That's what we're doing with it. It's getting smelted somewhere. I don't know where. Over there, maybe? I have working disabled here. We're out of platinum group sludge, so I guess I could turn this back on. Anyways, we've got charcoal processing over here. We've got even nitrobenzene. I do have a large gas turbine here. Apparently, it's turned off. Let me grab a rotor just to throw in here. And we'll just, like, let it run, I guess. I don't know. Ooh, it looks like the energy output's actually pretty good. That could be a little helpful, right? I've got two other turbines over here, so let's just grab rotors for these. I think I need to turn my rotor machine back on because I think I'm a ways away from getting dragon steel. Vacuum freezer, molten dragon steel, cadmium, tungsten, magnesium diboride. I might even have these. I'm kind of losing my train of thought here. Cadmium? Yeah, cadmium. Oh, look at that. I have this. Magnesium diboride? How do I get magnesium diboride? That's a great question. Dragon steel, boron, and magnesium? Easy. Boron, magnesium. Yeah, so we could get into that before too long. I haven't done a lot of progressing. As you can see, I was trying to get rid of our solar panels because that's where a lot of our lag was coming from. And these are actually the final ones that I need to break. I had way too many set up. But we can see here our input is at 5.2 million and our output is only 2 million. So I can actually finish breaking these. And I do have room in here to put them away once our world kind of catches up anytime we try and do anything. it gets kind of laggy. But that is kind of bringing me to the next kind of major thing to talk about for this episode, and that is that we are starting a new season in a sort of way. What just happened there? There's a room in here. There's not. So we'll be starting a new season, but I will not be starting a new world. I have no plans on leaving this world and everything that I've already set up. If we look into statistics and we look at time played, 25 days. Let's see, time world open, 135 days. Yeah, there's a bit of AFK that I've done, but that's all right. Over here, I was getting into burning essences, more assemblers, stuff like this. The main issue that our TPS is struggling, aside from the solar panels, is all the laser IO stuff, because these do a lot of work. I don't have them particularly upgraded. They are all just base, but they do run every 20 ticks, which, I don't know, maybe in hindsight I could have made them slightly slower, but that wouldn't have been great either. So the world that we currently have, or the base that we currently have, we go all the way up to Netherite. We have Naquita over here. This is like one of the final things that we set up before I started to take a break. How do we... Is there... Yeah, so this is still the way it was. Yeah, we've got a lot of nether stars that we're working on as well. So, getting into what we're doing next. I don't know if it's going to lag real bad, but I want to show you guys what I've been working on. And that is over here. This is our new base. If you've been on Discord, you've probably seen. I can zoom out and we can see our old base here. And the comparison of the old base and how big that felt versus our new base. This is our new control tower. The base is going to take a minute to load in here. Actually, I think I've got the render distance turned down, so we're actually not even going to see all of it. I actually have to turn the render distance all the way up, which is not great for performance. But this is our main kind of control building here, and I really like what I did with this kind of satellite dish and the redstone lamp up there. I've got a timer behind it. So this is our new control room. It's not completed, obviously. I've got a little bit of floor here, and it's just a temporary situation while I am kind of moving everything, getting our baseline of things set up over here, power, ore generation, stuff like that. And I'm going to replace everything that we have set up over there. Why is this like this? As you can see, it's unfinished. It's not in line here. But this is our new main controller with our controller subnet. So I'll have to pull wireless connections off of there. I have one wireless connection coming in from the original base that's leading out into connections through the new base. So I want to show you that. I've been slowly working on everything. A lot of the buildings have kind of purposes set up, but not everything is set up. I wanted to build a large scale base, obviously. I wanted to build a big city. All of this was done without cheating in any materials. So the Blackstone, this whole area, all these blocks I placed by hand. I built the giant circle by hand. The square wasn't that bad to build, but you know, I used building gadgets to fill in the dirt, used building gadgets to help get the skeleton of a lot of these buildings. One of the most complete buildings right now, and it was just because my brain kind of played for it, is the clean room building. So this tower will house clean rooms. I've got 4 in here, and we could always add to it, but I'm hoping that 4 max size clean rooms are going to be enough. The only reason the other ones aren't built out like this one is because at the time I did not have everything I needed set up to be able to mass produce those filter casings. But these are the skeletons for the bases, or for the buildings. This building over here is construction related. I don't have a sign out here for it. But over here I'm making dark concrete, as well as concrete bricks, dark concrete bricks. This is our alloy blast smelter tower. So I've got enough room here to put another bank of ABSs, and we'll put them down and stack them up to the ceiling, and we can really easily change things. Back at the original base, I used a lot of laser IO. What I'll be using here is the threshold level emitters. That way these input hatches can actually be completely turned off, and they don't actually tick and do anything when they're off. So this base should be a lot more TPS friendly, especially for the 100% passive route that I'm taking. Over here is where I was working on our new power production. Currently it's just steam turbines, but I think I'm going to try and go with nitrobenzene. These guys are making 57,000 EU per tick. They've got twinite rotors, as well as 16 amp IV dynamo hatches. These will get upgraded really soon. Over here I've got our steam set up. I'm just using regular steam. I've seen a lot of people say that the superheated steam isn't really worth it. And eventually, like I said, switching over to nitrobenzene and then reactors for power. This is kind of a temporary solution. We've got steam turbines here now. I want to put the gas turbines over here as well, I think, and then eventually plasma turbines. These buildings here are going to be for a specific machine. So I've got macerators over here. This one's a little bit better of an example. This is the extruder. So we'll come in from this side once I get stairs and stuff set up. I've got an extractor here, which I don't know is going to get used for a lot. Over here, we've got a solidification array that's working on ingots. If I move up a floor, I've got the Cube.js whatever extruders. And the cool thing about these machines for passively setting them up is I don't think they really need... Let's see, if I click on this, a minimum of 5. So you have to have a minimum of 5 of these casings. Where's their one at? So this has 9. I can actually set up a lot more stocking buses, but I like how clean this is with having the threshold level emitters outputting into these toggle buses. So these guys can just be completely turned off, and these resources are 100% passive. So we've got all the HSS stuff. This was a lot of the stuff that I needed to get set up for like the LUV, the motor, and things like that. And I've got extra ones set up here. The bottom floors I'm going to use for the large multi-blocks. I'm going to do everything that I can in these guys until I max them out, and then we'll continue to add on to the top. Like, what's this guy? This is another solidification array, but it's using the block mold. So any blocks that need solidified will go in here, and I've got parallel hatches on these so they can be really fast. I was making concrete because I'm using concrete over there. We'll get over there in a second. This is another building. I've got an assembler here. Let me know in the comments, does anybody have like weird issues with the large assembling factory when you try and check the uses on it. My game lags out so hard when I'm looking at this multi-block and I try and highlight any of the blocks that you can use to build the base. Like, my game will lag out and crash sometimes. But over here, I've got an input hatch, and then, we're making platinum cables, HV electric pumps, fluid regulators. I'll talk about that in a second as well. And like these multi-blocks, I can just have a ton of recipes over here that are completely passive. So that's my goal with the base, is everything to be 100% passive. I'll come back over to that in a second. Over here, I was working on ore processing. So I've got some void extractors. I've got large sieves, and then over here, some rock sifters will go down. These sieves, only these two are hooked up because I needed diamonds for steam power. So I've got 2 large sieves here, and I'm going to hook 2 more up to run sand, whatever it is, to get these resources. And then I'll have 2 for gravel and 2 for dust, or I'll probably do 2 for where do I have a sieve at? So it'll probably be 2 for dust, or maybe 2 for gravel. I don't know the best ratio for this, but I know that these are going to be for sand. That way I can get tons of diamonds, and I can always change it in the future as well. The void extractors over here, I needed some more silver. I was out of silver and my extractors were not doing a good job. And then once again, like I said, I have not built the rock sifters. Once I do get all of that finally set up, what my hope and plan is to do ore processing over here in these giant kind of silos, which should look pretty cool once they're done. I'm probably going to expand this design up further, but I haven't quite decided yet. It might just be that they go up and I'll change and add some things to the outside. I don't really know yet. A lot of this is kind of trying to pick one little project to work on and then letting my brain just kind of flow. It is not a mirror image from side to side. I did copy these 9 buildings over to here, and some of these like Tetris shapes are used. I've got like a couple of them here and one over here. But my goal is to build like a really large city that should be pretty cool. I'm going to run a river through here, and one of my plan is to have some water maybe pumping out over there, flowing into the river, that will go into this area and this area and this area and this area over here, where it's like water is being, I don't know, created over here. I don't really know. I also plan on putting my farms down here and make this like a park area. This will have stairs or maybe hyper tubes, maybe a create train. I don't really know. Really, a lot of it is just like having an idea and putting it down and then kind of walking away to get a good look at it and see how I like it. A lot of the buildings that I built here, I modified many times to kind of create fun sightlines. Like here, these buildings are large, but then you look, and eventually, once these have walls, you're going to see an even larger building back here. Same thing over here with this building of the assembly lines. These buildings are tall. That building is way taller. So that should be a lot of fun. Once I get to that point, let's turn this back up. Turn my footsteps up. There we go. Now you can hear my footsteps. So one of the most recent things that I've been working on, and probably going to be one of the more tedious things, is passiving the assembly lines. Now, these are all bigger than they need to be, right? Like this one is the motors, so it only needs to be 8 or 9 blocks long. They're just full size. I'm going to do them all full size just to make the design process a little bit better. I just today put in these chains to hang them from the ceiling and then put in lights. These buildings will have walls, stairs, exteriors, stuff like that. Now they're not going to be crazy. I mean, I'm definitely not a hermit craft player, so I'm going to try and do designs and stuff like that to the best of my ability and try and decorate. You know, these outsides might have gardens and bushes and things like that. My goal for the base is for it to be like a lost, maybe not like a lost, like an advanced civilization that is just focused on technology and exploring space, exploring the stars. What I did to automate these guys is I actually have filters. Here we go. I've got robot arms and filters that are automatically pulling in, and I'm providing the items through an interface. And then once again, we've got the level emitter, and then over on the side, I've got toggle buses. I also put these illuminated panels here so that I can see when these are working. Is this going to turn on? What's my level here? 64. So if I take one more of these out, this should turn on. And this guy will turn on, and we can see, if it was darker in here, we could see this light is now illuminated. And I believe if I paint this cable, it'll actually change the color. But I don't necessarily want to do that. Let me switch that back. Let's, first of all, put these away. And then we'll put this back. There we go. Put that away. Punch that. Pick up our toolbox. Excellent. Now the guy's back off. But we can see, you know, I've got LUV motors, pistons. Over here, we've got conveyors, emitters, and electric pumps, robot arms, and even if I go up a floor, I'm going to be doing the LUV sensor. So that should be a ton of fun. We're actually going to do that today. I'm going to walk you through what that looks like, what that process looks like. Over here, I haven't expanded into these buildings at all yet. As you can see, the grass is still working on growing. And that's because I've spent so much time over here on this side that almost all of it is grown out. But there's still a lot more work to do. Some of these buildings are going to be interesting to try and find uses for. I actually kind of thought some of these would be good to house a couple of things. Like this one here might be fun to put like molecular assemblers, like tons of molecular assemblers. I do not know yet. I have not planned that far ahead. I will say over here in this huge square or this huge circle, or possibly this one, is where I think we'll put fusion reactors. And I want to, if I put it over here, I was thinking about having the different fusion tiers kind of stack up vertically. Let's see, getting into, you know, a lot of these high-end fusion ones. But we've got 1, 2, 3. Auxiliary boosted, don't know what that means. We've got a 4. So we have a lot of room here to be able to put fusion reactors, which should be fun. Anything else to really note? Voice is kind of getting a little hoarse there. If you can hear my mic and mouse and stuff like that, I do apologize. I feel like my filters or something like that was messed up in OBS, so when I was recording, I tried recording a video before, it was really choppy, like the noise gate was not correct. But I think what we're going to do, actually, is set up these LUV sensors. So I'll kind of walk you through what that looks like. So let's get rid of that. These I'm going to use. So what I do is I move this guy over, and then I just kind of bookmark these in the order that they're going to get used. And I just look back here and see what the number is. So I know we're going to need 1 regulator, and I know we need 8 of these guys. Now, because the world is laggy, like this one got messed up and got put there. So I kind of have to be a little bit slow with the way that I put them down. Yeah, this one got put on that side, which is not correct, obviously. And then this, we need to turn this direction, so we can put that on there. Awesome. And then I grab the screwdriver, and I say, hey, you are going to keep exact 288 millibuckets of soldering fluid. You will keep exact 1 of those. You will keep exact 1 of those. You kind of get the point of this. Was that? Did I already do Ruberdit? So I have a hard time kind of remembering which ones go where. We just did the Ruberdit. So we need the Quantum Star. And then this one is actually weird because we need quantum processors, and we need 2 of them. Over here, the palladium foil, we need 64, and then I have another one that needs 32. So I'll put that there, and then we'll set it to 32. And then here, our final one is the niobium titanium cable. And then I just set interfaces here, like so, and then 1 back here on our output. And then I just have to go through and fill in these. 288, frame, motor, plate, star, quantum processor, 2 of them, palladium foils 64, palladium foils 32, and then finally the niobium titanium. And then we're going to connect these up. This gets a toggle bus right here and a threshold level emitter. Always set this first. Currently I'm setting them to 16 on our high end just to keep it from gobbling up too many resources. You might have noticed that I've got 344 LUV electric pumps. I forgot to set the level emitter on that one, and that's my bad. We'll put an illuminated panel here, and then the only thing left to do is set up a wireless connection. So we'll pop this guy down right there. We also need power. So let's do this. Grab our wire cutters for you and you. Grab a flux point. And this is going to be... let's see. I have these set up. And this one was assembly line 3. So obviously this is assembly line 4. I'm doing this because I've got 68 pages of nodes here, so it's really difficult to figure out like what's doing what. But now I've got them set up like, oh, ABS 1. Okay, sweet. That's the Alloy Blast Smelter 1 over there. And finally, I need a 16 amp converter. I don't know that it's important or if it's, you know, good or bad for me to put these down, but I just put them down just to have them, I guess. And finally, the connection here, I'm just going to connect right to this hub, and I've got one more spot after this one. This guy should turn on because it's got power. It will have items. I just have to like troubleshoot and see. Okay, we've got cables, we've got foil, quantum stars. This does not have Ruridit plates. I apparently don't have Ruridit plates. Everything else is a thing though. And then whenever I don't have anything, I can just come over to here. These are our benders, and I can say plates, and I've got these at 128. And then I'll just pop this guy in here, and I set this to 32. And in a bender, we need it on 1. Boom. Now we've got Ruridit plates. Pop that in there so we know what that guy's trying to craft. And that should be everything aside from another monitor. Do I have any in my backpack? I do not. Let's grab out a bunch. Yep, so this guy's running here. He's making LUV sensors. We will pop a cable here and connect it there. And once that sensor comes out, we'll be able to stage that up in our storage monitor. Okay, so let's see. It was this guy. This quantum processor. We need to set this up. Now, I do have all of this set to craft. All of this is already on passive. One of the most challenging things I'm going to have to go through is moving everything. If we take a look here, where was that at? Right here, LUV sensor. Get used to making all your components in an assembly line because it will not change. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. So this guy. Let's take a look at, let's see. How far off are we from these guys? ZPM and requires a clean room. Okay. What about these? A circuit assembler. This is an assembly line. It requires research. Okay. And finally, this guy is also an assembly line. Gotcha. Now, the second stage of the ZPM circuit, I don't know if I have enough ZPM circuits to get me to this. I have those. It'll just be this guy. Which means I will need this one or this one. This is obviously the better recipe. So yttrium barium cuprate, fine niobium, crystal SOC, and multi-layer fiber reinforced printed circuit board. Platinum, multi-layer fiber reinforced. Okay, so I could do this. That requires a clean room though. Okay. Good to know. So that's basically what I wanted to do today, was get you caught up on what's going on, give you a layout of the land, give you a lay of the land, show you how I plan on passiving my assembly lines going all the way up. We've got room for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. How many per layer? There's 6. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So 24, 28 more assembly lines to go down. And then I'll continue to add after that. But I think that's going to be it for today. Let me know in the comments if you've made it this far and you're not already. Please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Let me know in the comments what you think of the base, what I should be doing or maybe shouldn't be doing. And also, if you would like to help design any of these buildings, I'm more than happy to put the dimensions in the comments. If you let me know kind of what building you might be interested in, you could always join the Discord. I would be happy to let you know the dimensions, and then you could do a copy and paste gadget from Building Gadgets, and we could get it put into the world. All right. Thanks for stopping in.